Floyd Mayweather is supposed to be retired, but his money definitely isn't. And while we all know Floyd likes nice things, what we don't see is how his money is actually working for him. So while most athletes blow their bag on cars and jewelry and bad business deals, Floyd has been on a real estate buying spree. Recently, he's been involved in a 1,000 unit affordable housing portfolio in New York City, a stake in a $10 billion office portfolio with 18 buildings and 10 million square feet, a piece of the Versace Mansion in Miami, and a $3 billion luxury rental joint venture where he reportedly put in $100 million. So here's my question. What does Floyd know about real estate that regular people don't? And how can we use some of those principles on a smaller scale in order to build real wealth for our families? That's what we're going to be breaking down today. Let's get into it. What's up, everybody? It's Jamel Gibbs, your family-oriented entrepreneur. Welcome to this video. Now, before we talk about skyscrapers, I want you to remember where Floyd started. He grew up in a one-bedroom apartment in New Jersey with his family. He wasn't born in a trust fund money, and he fought for every dollar he has. Now, fast forward to today, Google is stating that his net worth is around $400 to $500 million, making him one of the wealthiest athletes on the entire planet. And in addition to that, he's bragged in interviews about owning multiple skyscrapers and a massive real estate portfolio. So that's what I want to talk about today. How did he acquire this portfolio? And how can you do the same exact thing, even if it's done on a smaller scale? Because here's the key. Although we know Floyd made a lot of money in boxing, he didn't just make his money in boxing. He also makes money in his business ventures, and one of them being real estate, which to me is the number one principle we're going to keep coming back to. He turned active income, meaning the income from his boxing, into passive income through real estate investments. So that's exactly what you want to do. Turn your active income into passive income. Now, if you don't understand what active income is, it's really simple. Active income is when you have to get up and go out and work for your money. Now, what you do with that money is super important, because you can either spend that money on things that's not going to build wealth, or you can invest that money into passive income streams and live off of the passive income. So let's say, for example, you have a 9-to-5 job. That 9-to-5 provides you with active income. Now, once you take the income from that 9-to-5 job and you invest it into, let's say, an apartment building, which brings in passive income, you can then live off of the passive income. And that's how you build real wealth. So that's what Floyd Mayweather did. And like I said, that's one of the principles we're going to keep coming back to. He took the active income from his boxing career and he invested the money into multiple real estate portfolios, giving him passive income that he can then live off of and pass down generationally to his family. This is money that he doesn't have to work for, and you can do the same exact thing. So whether you're a teacher, whether you're a truck driver, a nurse, a YouTuber, or you're just getting started in real estate, you can do exactly what Floyd Mayweather did. You can take the active income that you're going out every single day to work for, and you can invest it into passive income streams, because passive income is income you don't have to work for. And once you build up to that, you'll be well on your way to building real wealth, especially in real estate. So let's get into how you can get it done. Now let's look at the first big move Floyd made, the Black Spruce portfolio. According to reporting, Floyd agreed to buy a 1,000 unit affordable housing portfolio in Upper Manhattan. Now this portfolio has about 60 buildings in it, valued at $402 million. Now, why in the world would a boxer who made over $1 billion in a ring agree to buy old buildings in New York City? A couple of reasons. Number one, tax benefits. A large share of the units in a portfolio qualify for tax exemptions and incentives because they're designated for affordable housing. Number two, predictable demand. Affordability crisis is not going away. People are always going to need cheaper rents close to jobs. And number three, emotional story. Remember, Floyd grew up in a one-bedroom apartment that he lived in with his entire family. So owning 1,000 of these affordable units is really a full circle moment. So it allows him to give back and get paid at the same time. Now, we don't know his exact returns, but deals like this are typically underwritten for solid, boring cash flow, maybe high single digits after debt and expenses. And that leads into principle number two. Don't chase sexy. Buy what's going to stay full. For you, that might not be a building in Manhattan. It might be a small duplex in a working class neighborhood, or a single family property in the Midwest that stays rented, or maybe a fourplex near a hospital or a college. The point is the same. Cash flow beats clout. Next, Floyd buys into the 601W companies office portfolio, which is basically a $10 billion real estate portfolio comprised of 18 buildings and 10 million square feet spread out through New York City and Chicago. Now, if you've been around real estate for any amount of time, you and I both know that the office market has been wrecked since 2020. And the reason for that is because of the work from home trends, which led to sky-high vacancies and landlords giving keys back to lenders. So is Floyd crazy, or does he know something that we don't know? Think about it. When everybody's scared of an asset class, what happens to the price? It falls, doesn't it? And because of that, big players with cash can buy trophy properties at a discount. And if the market recovers even partway, the upside is massive, which leads into principle number 3. When you're rich in cash and knowledge, you can buy assets that everybody else is running away from. Now, that doesn't mean that you and I should go out tomorrow and buy half-empty office towers. No, that's not what we're saying. Maybe in your town, everyone hates small rural houses or old mobile homes or vacant land. If you understand the numbers and you can solve a problem, those ugly assets can make you really wealthy. Remember, Floyd is not managing those assets himself. He's partnering with a proven operator, 601W, that understands how to reposition big office assets already, which leads into principle number 4. Don't be the smartest person in the deal. Partner with experts. Now let's switch gears. Floyd also bought a stake in a Versace Mansion in Miami. This is a 23,000 square foot historic property located on Ocean Drive, turned into a hotel and event space. Now this deal right here is not about boring cash flow. This is a trophy asset. Why would he do that? Number 1, brand and lifestyle. Floyd makes a lot of money being Floyd Mayweather, and owning a piece of one of the most famous properties in Miami only adds to that brand. Number 2, cash flow and appreciation. The mansion now operates as a high-end boutique hotel and restaurant. That means nightly rates, events, weddings, and brand deals, and long-term appreciation because of its history and location. And number 3, diversification. As you can see, part of Floyd's rental portfolio is in working class rentals. Another part of it is in luxury hospitality. Different tenants, different risk profile, which leads into principle number 5. Earn your freedom with boring assets, buy trophies later with the overflow. For example, if you're just getting started, your Versace Mansion might simply be a short-term rental in a cool area that you enjoy being in, a small farm you Airbnb on the weekends, or even a small beach condo that you only buy after your core rental portfolio is already established and stable. The order doesn't really matter, but you get the idea. And finally, Floyd reportedly put $100 million into a $3 billion joint venture partnership in order to buy a portfolio of luxury rental properties. Now, here's what this move tells us. Number 1, Floyd is not trying to be the day-to-day operator. What he's doing is he's using his capital plus his name in order to get access to institutional grade deals. And he's spreading his risk across multiple properties and multiple markets at once, which leads into principle number 6. When you don't have time, trade money and brand for ownership. For you and me, that might look like partnering with a local operator who finds and manages deals while we bring the down payment or the funding. It can also be joining a small private joint venture to buy a 10 or a 20 unit apartment building. Or it can be using creative finance to structure win-win deals where a more experienced partner can run the project while you share in the upside. The point is, you don't need $100 million to use this principle. You just have to stop thinking, I have to do everything on my own, and be willing to partner with other people in order to be able to benefit yourself long term. So let's boil this down into 7 rules you can literally write on a sticky note. Number 1, turn fight money into forever money. For you, that might be turning your job money or your business income into cash flowing assets that you buy every single year. Number 2, buy boring stuff, affordable rentals, starter homes, bread and butter properties. That's what's gonna pay the bills. Number 3, take calculated swings when others are scared. For Floyd, he bought office buildings. For you, maybe you buy in small towns. Maybe you buy vacant land. Stick to those things. Number 4, partner with killers. Floyd is not underwriting these deals. He's partnering with pros. You should too. Number 5, add a couple of trophies once you're stable. Versace Mansion for him, maybe a dream Airbnb for you. Number 6, get paid when you sleep, not just when you show up. That's the whole point of shifting from active income into passive income assets. You definitely want to repeat that process as well. And number 7, never stop being a student. Even after making $1 billion in the ring, Floyd is still sitting down with high-level investors. I'm sure he's asking questions. He's getting to learn the ropes. He's putting a lot of money into these deals. So he's writing these big checks based on what he learns. You can do the same exact thing with books and podcasts and courses and coaching. The point is, never stop learning. Be the best at what you do in your craft. So here's what I want you to take away from Floyd Mayweather's real estate moves. You don't need his money in order to follow his framework. Start where you are. Maybe it's your first house hack or duplex. Maybe it's learning creative finance so you don't have to go begging banks for money. Maybe it's joint venturing on your first multi-unit deal so you don't have to wait 10 years to do it solo. Right now, the market is rewarding people who understand how to put deals together and control assets, not just people who could throw cash at a bank. And if you want more breakdowns just like this, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell, and also leave a comment. Let me know who else you want me to do a deep dive on, whether it be a celebrity or just a local real estate investor. I can run the numbers for you so you can see what the principles are on how they actually structure their deals so that you can do the same exact thing. If you want coaching, be sure to visit dealprocoaching.com. I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.